It's a great day in the Bomber Nation. Welcome to the Bomber Buzz. This is Principal Jacob Jenkins, and joining me here today, I have, as usual, Dean of Students, Mr. Paul Rudolph, and the special guest, Superintendent of Lewis and Clark Public Schools, Mr. Marc Ritteman. And we're going to kind of talk about the year and just have a chat about school and different things. We've actually got a jam-packed episode here today. We have 3 staff that are leaving us this year. Miss Briana Imler, our preschool title teacher, Mrs. Brittany Hansen at our office, and Mrs. Johnna Varty, our ag education, and we're going to be interviewing them. And Paul, also today, John Koronka, our baseball coach and middle school teacher, is going to be talking about the tournament.
Yep,
so you'll be able to hear a
right.
preview of the baseball tournament. So big episode here today. We do have a few events coming up here before kicking off. Really, graduation is coming up on Sunday at 2 o'clock in the new gym. We want everyone to know that it is open to the public. So everyone that wants to come to graduation is invited. We'd love to have a big turnout. We have 17 graduates this year that we'll be celebrating. So come on out. We have 4 co-valedictorians this year, which is pretty exciting, and we're making them all talk. So you can come and hear some inspiring speeches from them and celebrate the hard work that this graduating class has done. Paul, what else do we have going on here?
Well, as we're listening, we did have a little change. They changed the Northwest Region track meet from Saturday to today.
All right, so they bumped it ahead a day.
They did bump it ahead a day. I don't know if they're trying to beat the rain. There's supposed to be rain coming in, a heavy wind Saturday, but nevertheless, they're bumping it to today. Obviously, you mentioned graduation, and then softball and baseball regionals kick off Saturday. Well, let me backtrack. Baseball regionals kick off Saturday. We play roughly around noon. Could be 12:30. We win. We play Monday at 11. We lose. We play Saturday night at approximately 5 o'clock. The girls' softball kicks off Monday at South Hill Complex. I have not seen a bracket yet for that, but we should be the number 2 seed out this way as far as the co-op goes. So, yeah, that's, with regionals going on this weekend and then the state the following weekend. So
that's exciting stuff. And, now talking about let's just talk about the year. It's been a heck of a year, a lot of real great highlights. Some things that I wanted to point out that I thought were really great. This year was our inaugural Hall of Fame year for Berthold Hall of Fame. And Mr. Ritteman, what brought that about?
Well, it started a couple of years ago. I was at a conference, and somebody there was talking to their superintendent, and they were asking how many years were necessary for a person to get a lifetime pass to games, right? So if you were a staff member for a certain amount of years, you could get a lifetime pass. And I was thinking, that's a good idea. So I started looking into some of our staff members that had been here for a long time, some that had retired, and then kind of looked at that group, and we had a pretty good group, and started thinking about maybe we need to do something to recognize these people. Started off thinking maybe we just have a wall of years of service, and then that kind of morphed into the Hall of Fame, where not only staff members that had contributed to the school, but also we looked at students for their contributions while at Berthold, and students who accomplished something after, recognizing them. And I think the importance of that is to, we're here now because of the things that people did before us. And right. So we don't want to forget what these people had done for the school, and this was one way of recognizing them. So we started off, I think we had about 10 or 11 in the first class. We had a little bit of a mix of everything. So we had teachers, we had custodians, we had students that were here, and contributors as well. So all in all, I felt it was great. I know Mr. Rudolph did an awesome job of organizing it, getting it ready, and now it's something we plan to do each year going forward. I think the classes in each successive year will be a little bit smaller. We're not going to look at 10 each year, but it's something we're looking forward to and making it a tradition.
Well, and it's important for us to honor our history. Like you said, they paved the way for us. And everything that happens here is built on that foundation. So it's nice that we can pay tribute to that and have future people know about that.
For sure.
So, yeah, that was great. Another highlight this year, Mrs. Helfrich. This was her 30th year teaching music here in Berthold, and she was named the North Dakota Band Teacher of the Year. And that was huge.
Yes.
She so many of us listening here, so many of you listening here, probably had her as your music teacher. And to be recognized like that was really great. She certainly deserved that recognition.
Absolutely. She is somebody that I think she was actually on our Hall of Fame committee, right? So,
yes.
so she was a person who has been here her whole career, right? I think 30 years.
All 30
all
here.
Been in
Yes.
Berthold. And has done a lot. She contributes not only in band but in choir, and the musical and the play. And I know she has conducted the governor's band here.
That's right.
Just not too long ago. I think it maybe early 2010s. But she's one of those people that I think one day will probably find herself up on that wall too.
I would assume so. Yeah. Paul, what are some highlights that you?
Well, I think I just wanted to talk the academic side of things. I thought there was a handful of things down in the elementary side with the 3rd grade class and the 4th grade class with some reading and math, and 3rd grade with some reading and math things. You had the ASVAB test, if you could touch on the ACTs with the juniors. I mean, I think there was both sides of the school, academically, elementary and high school wise. There were some really solid things that came out of this season.
Well, our ACT average this year was 22, which is higher than the North Dakota average by 4 points, 3 points. I mean, really phenomenal, really great. And our ASVAB average was
66.
66
for an ASVAB average,
which is high.
Yeah, ASVAB it's 0 to 100, and to be eligible for the state scholarship, you need to get a 51. So 51 is a good score. To get into one of the branches of the military, you need to score a 31. So our average score was 66, which is tremendous. We had several kids in the 80s and a student in the 90s. And talking with Mrs. Gravison, she said it was one of the best performing classes that she had seen.
Yes.
And, as you mentioned, a 22 average on the ACT, that's also amazing. You don't see a lot of that. State average is around 19, so to be up at 22 is great. And that's that first time through too. So I know a lot of our kids plan on taking it again, and I think that average would probably go up after
Agreed.
All tests are taken.
Yeah.
And I guess Mr. Rudolph mentioned a little bit about some of our elementary scores. So we test our kids a lot with NWEA and STAR and all these acronyms. And the last one of the year, a one-time test, is the state assessment. And this year we had a good year. It's good always, but just talking about some of these scores here, Mr. Rudolph mentioned the 3rd grade. So in the 3rd grade, 85% of the 3rd grade in Berthold were proficient in English, language arts, and math. That's absolutely. That's not easy to do.
No.
And far above the state average there in terms of proficiency. The 4th grade English language arts score was at 88%, so just about everybody there. And then 5th grade in English language arts was 92%. So some really good scores for our elementary, and I think a lot to be proud of, looking at that elementary end too. I know you interviewed Addison Johnson.
Yep.
And I think at this point, I don't know if there's maybe 3,000 or 4,000 people that have taken, or students,
Correct.
3rd graders, fourth graders in North Dakota that have taken the I think she did informational writing
correct
test, and she's still the only one with the perfect score. So that is
pretty amazing.
Absolutely tremendous. And I think you probably talked to her too about her performance on in the math track meet. So again, a lot of things to be proud of, and we're looking at continuing to get better. We have a great staff, and I know they're very focused on academic achievement, and
for sure.
I think we're going to see continued growth in the coming year.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. How about, I guess I'm just curious, is, you've been in education, and this is year 7 or 8 as superintendent?
This is 7.
This is year 7.
7 as superintendent. Prior to that, I was principal. I did a little K-12 and a high school principal at Litchfield Marion, which is south of Valley City a little bit, and did that for 5 years. And prior to that, I taught social studies in Lemoore, which is a little bit further south from Litchfield Marion. But I'm lucky to be here now. Really have a great job with a great staff, great administration, great school board. So couldn't be happier to be in Berthold and North Shore Plaza.
How about, how do you, like all of a sudden the culmination comes Sunday with graduation, and then just what goes through your feelings in mind?
Yeah, it's been a lot of graduations I've been to over the years, and so doing 2 a year now. I really enjoy it. Actually, it's something that when I was younger, maybe even just a teacher, I didn't view it the same as I do now. But it's something that I really enjoy. Listening to the seniors and as they speak, also just talking to them a little bit before and after, and you see some of these kids grow up over a period of years. So this year's senior class, they would have been 6th graders when I came here. So, just thinking back to that time, I remember them coming in my office. At that time, I was in the conference room, and they were asking me something, but they wanted to change something with lunch or something like that. But just, remembering them at that age, and then seeing them progress all the way through high schools, watching them in sports and all their different activities, and seeing them now ready to step out into the world. It's always I don't know if I can describe the feeling exactly, but I'm always excited, always happy. It's a fun time to see those kids getting ready for the rest of their life.
Yeah, no doubt. Graduation is pretty unique, isn't it? I mean, it just is a unique experience. It's a unique milestone. It doesn't matter if it's from career tech college or it's from high school or from preschool, or it's just a unique. It's a unique day. I think it's a fantastic.
It's kind of that celebration of your
great stepping stone to whatever it might be.
Agreed.
Good stuff. I got one more. Just for like the constituents. I was kind of, the amount of. I don't think people quite. At least I didn't. I can tell you that when I rolled into 2 years ago. Just the amount of hats that you wear on a day-to-day basis, right? With the superintendent and dealing with the school board and things of that nature. But yet the transportation director, the kind of the head of the physical plant. I mean, it's
it's a lot of different things.
I mean, it's like, well, hey, we got a door busted over here. Oh, that's call these guys or
it's
a lot of hats, but in a small town.
Well, absolutely, it's when I got into education. Well, I first got into it because I wanted to coach, and then as I started teaching, I really enjoyed that aspect of it, and really kind of fell in love with my content. Really like teaching history, but also just teaching and learning the whole process, trying to learn how to do it the best I could, and that's why I went and got my master's and became a principal. But then as a superintendent, you take a little bit of a step away from that. You are not quite as involved in the role in the everyday teaching and learning process is small, and but you're dealing a lot more with the types of things you mentioned, whether we have a problem with the bus, or it's the door, or I know we at the board meeting on Monday we're talking about the glass block windows here out in front in Berthold, and then looking at the whole operation as a whole. Of course, the funding piece is a big part of that as well. Just trying to make it all work and to try to, have the best possible educational experience for the kids. And I think probably the most important thing I do is in the hiring process.
Right.
So there's all those things, but really in a school, it's all about the people you have. We have a staff of, including bus drivers, we're probably close to 80. So there's a lot of people in the district that interact with kids, and me along with you guys, we try to find the best people to put in those seats. I know Mr. Jenkins, if you've talked or are going to talk about some of the staff that is leaving this year, it's difficult to lose people, but it's also an opportunity. Okay, let's try to find somebody who can fill that role, fill those shoes, and continue to help build up this school.
Yeah, and on that note, that's a good segue. As I said earlier, we do have 3 staff that are leaving. We're going to have interviews with all 3 of those. But we do have replacements that are coming in that we feel we're really positive about and excited to have part of the Bomber Nation. Our new ag teacher next year will be Haley Philippek. She's coming to us from Powers Lake. Mm-hmm. And we got a chance to meet her, and just a real dynamic presence, a real positive outlook. I think she's excited to be here, excited for ag and FFA. And so we look forward to that. In the office, Melissa Shep, she's been with us now as a paraeducator, and she's going to be moving into the role of the office. So she'll be our front end, which will be great. She'll continue Brittany's tradition of having a friendly, positive person right there as you come in and able to, handle the day-to-day. And then preschool and title, Mrs. Lottie's moving from our interventionist into the preschool title teacher. And, Mrs. Lottie's been here for over 20 years. And if you don't know her passion and love of kids, then you must never have met her, because it is just evident. And so we're so excited to have her with those littles. And she's just excited to be with them and be a part of that, and to continue building our students' knowledge in the role of the title teacher as well. So, it is hard when you have staff that are leaving onto new things, but we understand too is we all have different roads, and we got to walk down the road that's right for us at the time. And so we wish those teachers and office staff, we wish them well. They'll be missed, and we're excited for next year and the new ones coming in as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll lose some great people, but we're also excited about the new group that we have coming in. You mentioned Haley Philippek, and one thing that stood out to me is her passion for ag ed.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to find somebody, period, in that position. There aren't a lot of ag educators out there, and I think we're pretty lucky to get a good one here with now a year of experience at Powers Lake. So, and both Melissas in their new roles, yeah. Melissa Shep, Melissa Lottie, they're going to be amazing as well. And like you said, it's something new for both of them to a certain degree, or a different degree, I think, for both. But I think they're going to be great in those roles. And I think looking at our staff, we're lucky to have all of our seats filled right now. Right. So looking at the state, it's not too often that you go into the summer with everything filled. Right. I think we still have to get all our contracts in, but the expectation is we will have those in. And it's been a few years now since we've been entering the summer still looking to fill one of our positions. So, we've been very lucky, but we can't take that for granted. And I know there's a lot of districts around the state that have one opening. As many as a school our size could have 5 or 6 openings.
That's right.
So, we're in pretty good shape.
Agreed. Yep. So it's very exciting what we have coming up. Well, like I said, we've got a jam-packed episode. Paul, do you have anything else for this segment here?
I'm pretty good. I thought we touched on her.
Yeah. Well, if Paul and I feel like it, we'll have a bonus episode next week. But as I said, right now, this is our last one, and it's great. Stick around, find out some more about Miss Imler, Mrs. Hansen, and Mrs. Varty, and then you'll get to hear about our baseball, and then Paul and I will wrap it up at the end. So, thanks for listening to the Bomber Buzz. Stick with us. More to come. Genesis Seed Solutions, located in the Bomber Nation, is committed to utilizing the region's best producers to make sure your seed is grown with the utmost attention and most economical agronomic practices. Genesis Seed buys, sells, processes, conditions, and packages on-site with top-of-the-line equipment. From harvest to market, Genesis Seed will help you with all of your needs. Visit Genesis Seed today to learn more. Genesis Seed is a proud sponsor of the Bomber Nation. We're back on the Bomber Buzz, and joining us now is Mrs. Brittany Hansen. Welcome to the Bomber Buzz, Mrs. Hansen.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we asked Brittany to come and talk with us. Mrs. Hansen is moving on to different occupational opportunities here, and so we wanted to make sure that we had her on the buzz here before she left and find out a little bit about her and give a good send-off.
Without a doubt. How long have you been here?
I have been the secretary at the school for the last 3 years, but I've also been a bus driver for 7 years. This will be my 7th year. And then I was a para for 1 year, but I can't even remember how long ago that was.
That was a while ago.
It was a while ago.
Was that during the 7 years with the bus, or did you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So 7 years roughly total.
Yes.
Been around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And are you going to continue to drive bus?
I will probably be more of like a part-time bus driver. My husband, Cody, is going to take over the bus route. So,
Okay.
we'll figure it all out as we go.
So Cody's going to take it over.
Yeah, so he's kind of been my backup through the beginning. I said, if I'm doing this, you're doing it with me.
So you're just going to switch roles. You'll be the backup now, and
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's a good
our plan.
partnership. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
good deal. What with that energetic smile and that energetic voice, we're certainly going to miss. What are you going to miss most about the
students? Hands down, the students. Each and every kid is special to me here at the school.
Yeah.
It is going to be very hard to leave this place because I just love being here with the kids. So I will just have to continue to come back and follow them and get to know the new ones that join our school too.
It's pretty apparent just through the tone of your voice and how you greet people that it's meant a lot to you. You've done a fantastic job. When people walk in, they know that they're going to get a friendly face and a friendly smile. And I think the students, well, I know the students
They feel
know
the
that
same
as well.
way. Absolutely.
Because what you just echoed, I guess I would second in a heartbeat. It's been really fun to watch, in my opinion. Tell us a little bit about your new job. Where are you headed?
I'm going to Stanley to the dental office to work for Dr. Anderson. I worked with him prior to coming to the school. So I've always been kind of part-time as needed help, and it just so happens they need a full-time hygienist. So things change, and I'm moving on.
Okay. And so we were talking earlier before we started, but you've got all the schedules up on the web already. You've pretty much already prepared for next year, have you not?
Yes, I am.
We're ready to go.
Ready to leave, Melissa. Here you go. That great
Yes.
send-off. What's our last day?
Whatever day that last Friday is in May. I'll do 2 weeks after the last day of school. So I've got 2 weeks to kind of get everything ready to pass on to somebody else.
Okay, then are you going to take the summer for a while, or are you going to go right to work in
I'm going to
the
start
dental
with
office?
3 days a week, so I have my Mondays and Fridays off. And here's my little shout out. I will have Fridays off all through the school year if you need me.
Okay,
Sub,
great,
bus
Tyler.
driver, in the office.
So we will still get to see you
I
around
want to
the
come
school,
back
I
and
guarantee.
see everybody at the school.
Yeah, we'll be calling for sure.
I just have to bring this up, but obviously, have the kids mentioned anything? I mean, it's always nice to have mom close.
Right away they were embarrassed I worked at the school, and now they don't want me to leave. So it's kind of funny how that worked. When
Yeah,
it's
it's
actually
funny,
time for me to go, they don't want me to.
Yeah,
Quite the turnaround.
Yeah, went a little bit full circle there.
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt, no question. It's always nice to have mom around, without a doubt.
Well, Brittany, what would you want, as you're thinking of advice for students here? I know they meant a lot to you. You meant a lot to them as well. They saw you every day. What advice would you have for our students here in the upcoming years, either for elementary, high school, or even as a whole?
Continue to work hard. Never give up. Anything is possible if you work at it.
Yeah, That's perfect. Yep.
It is. Agreed. Well, tell us just, we know quite a bit about Brittany, but tell us a little bit more about yourself. Any fun hobbies?
My hobbies are driving my kids to whatever activity they want to do. I don't have much of a life right now.
I kind of knew that was the answer. I was just wondering where you're headed with it.
No, we enjoy going to the lake in the summertime, spending time with friends and family there. So, we try and get to either Metagoshi's, where Cody's mom has a cabin, or Cody's mom and dad, and then my parents have one down by South Dakota. So, kind of a little ways apart, but it's what we do most of the summer.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. If you're up in Metagoshi down to South Dakota, you're touching tip to tip.
Yep.
Wrestling season's your big busy season.
That
isn't
it
is.
That's, that's all year round. Over. Kids, we've got camp scheduled for the entire summer, and wrestling, football, I think are their lives right now.
Yeah,
and that's it's my life, I guess too.
Life,
for being a mom who who never had brothers, like I'm learning this boy mom thing of you just go with it.
Well, my little bit of advice, just having kids that are done now. Enjoy the heck out of it for as long as you possibly can, because it's there's a bit of an empty feeling when it's all done. So enjoy the heck out of it. That'd be my
absolutely.
How about I got one for you. I just was kind of curious, like if there's something about you that the rest of us wouldn't know. Like you got a secret you could tell us, or something about you that.
No, I'm a very type A person, detail oriented, which I think everybody knows that about me. So that's no big surprise, but.
No hidden talents, like you're not an opera singer or anything like that? Or
no, probably the craziest thing is I have a motorcycle license.
Okay.
I had a Harley.
I didn't know that.
Did you really?
I did have a Harley, and then, I got married and had kids and just realized I wasn't a Harley person.
Yeah, kind of changed.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. That's a great one, though. I would have never known that.
That would be a heck of a way to bring the boys to camp, on the back of a Harley.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. What else? Anything else you can tell us? You got a good funny story?
No, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
I have one. Remember last summer, I think it was towards the end of our weights, and I think you brought the boys into weights or something and went for a walk around town. And the next thing we know, the keys are
locked in the vehicle. Yeah.
And didn't you walk home then? Or?
No, I walked to my mother-in-law's house, got her pickup, drove to the farm, came back to town, dropped her pickup off, walked back to the school, and the whole time I told the kids, just stay at the playground. I will be back. Sometimes it's like, as mad as you want to be, it's life. It happens. We make the best of it and laugh about it later on.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, without a doubt. That one still brings a chuckle every now and then.
Yep.
Well, great. I've been fantastic. We're certainly going to miss you. I can tell you that, because everything when I walk by and hear it, it's just a friendly face, an energetic smile. And the kids are going to miss you, and we're going to miss you. And
I'm going to miss this place too, that's for sure.
We certainly appreciate everything you've done.
Oh, thank you.
Well, if you guys see Brittany out in the wild, make sure that you say hi and tell her how much you appreciate her. Sure she'd want you to be flossing.
Absolutely.
She'll be in Stanley if you need a hygienist. Go out and see her. And we're going to make sure she's here around the school too. She told us she's got Fridays off. Every Friday we'll find a sub job for you.
Sounds good.
All right, well, Brittany, thank you for joining us on the Bomber Buzz. We've got more coming up after these messages. H&L Safety and Supply has everything you need to run a proper work site. Tools, lighting, porta-johns, and more. Purchase or rent the things you need. H&L Safety and Supply is a family-owned business that exemplifies small-town values. For over 13 years, they have been serving their clients with top-notch customer service and excellent equipment. For all your worksite needs, call H&L Safety and Supply at 701-624-2183. H&L Safety and Supply is a proud sponsor of the Bomber Nation.
You're fine.
We're back on the Bomber Buzz. We're here with preschooler teacher, Miss Briana Imler. Briana, welcome to the Bomber Buzz.
Hi.
Well, we just wanted to have a little chat with you. Could you tell us a little bit about your time here? Like, when did you start teaching here in Berthold?
I started teaching here in 2020, so I've done 4 full years here in Berthold.
4 full years. And that was all preschool title?
Yep, preschool Title I.
Okay, awesome.
Were you anywhere before Berthold?
I was not.
This was your first job?
This was my first job.
Well, tell us a little bit then how you feel like you've grown.
I feel like I've grown a lot just from student teaching to now. My first year, I definitely winged it. I mean, it was a good first year, but I've learned a lot, and I think I've built up more than what my first year students got. Sorry to them. But definitely have grown a lot, did a lot of collaboration with the kindergarten teacher and what preschoolers should have and what they need to be kindergarten ready.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you're any different than anybody else when it comes to that. Because,
for sure.
I mean,
the first few years are the most difficult.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, as much as you know, when you actually get in the classroom and there's kids there, you find out there's a lot I didn't know.
Yes. Lots of learning.
I mean, each class is a little bit different, too,
That's
until
right.
you truly, I don't know that you ever truly learn everything. If you do, I think you're probably not being honest with yourself. I mean, really, in all seriousness.
Yes.
So, I mean, tell us some of the high points and low points. What have you had the most fun with?
I think I've just had the most fun with the littles. They're just so great. I love them.
Yeah.
All the lessons I've got to teach, the art projects, the events I've put on, the Christmas parties, the programs, all of it has been so much fun. And props to the kids because they have made it. They're the ones who have made it for me.
Yeah. And we got to watch a little culmination earlier this week with the preschool graduation.
Yes.
Always a cool day.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about what just goes into all that as the whole year goes along and kind of culminates with this day.
So for preschool graduation, we take kind of the main things we've learned, like our months of the year, our days of the week, the letters that we've learned, and we kind of put it together for a show for the parents with some songs that we've used every day for them to help learn. So, and by the end of the year, they do know most of it, I would say. And we just show the parents what we have learned.
Yeah. I thought it was great. The parents enjoyed it and the kids were all smiles, right? It's just good stuff, right? Well, tell us a little bit about prior. You know, where'd you come from? Where'd you go to school?
So I went to Minot State. I've lived in Minot for 10 years, graduated there. I always knew I wanted to be a teacher, so that wasn't a shock to my family when I went into early childhood. Then when I graduated, I had a friend that was working here already, Kayla Nesham, and this job came up last minute, and she reached out to me, so I went ahead and applied.
Well,
That's awesome.
yeah,
Yes.
it is.
That worked out.
Yeah, good for Kayla Nesham, too.
Yes.
Getting out here, that's
That's
great. How about, what's in store? What's in store for you?
So this is my last year in Berthold. I'm moving this summer. I'm going to be moving to Rugby, and I will be teaching in Dunseith, teaching kindergarten.
Okay.
So moving up one grade.
Yep,
so
a little bit older.
yes, that is what is in store for me.
And there'll be a little learning curve there, too.
Yes.
Just the little, subtle changes and subtle differences.
Yes.
But that'll be fun.
sure.
Rugby, huh? Moving to the...
I'm
Yep.
from Rugby.
There we go. Yeah, shoot. We got a couple
Yes.
My old stomping grounds.
Another Panther. How about just like as you're going through this whole thing, like what's one of this is kind of cliches probably, but what's the most rewarding thing I know you said you enjoy the little kids, just enjoy the littles, but what's like day to day, what's one of the most rewarding things you see?
I would say my most rewarding would just be the kids and how much they have grown, because in both preschool and title, I've seen lots of growth with those kids. And I think that is the most rewarding, is seeing the growth.
Yep. I think that's fairly common. I would agree with that statement 100%. How about when you're, especially even like when you're dealing with a lot of 4 and 5-year-olds, and there can be a wide array of just maturity levels even at that age. Any difficulties in that?
There are some difficulties. There are the students that are very mature. You don't have issues with them. You don't have to, just simple redirections and they're good. And then there's some where you have to use some strategies. You have to get creative to help them. So I've definitely say I've gotten creative and used all my resources and come up with things to try to help the ones that need a little bit more.
Yeah, I think
they definitely keep you on your toes.
They do.
You just never know what they're going to say or what they're going to do from minute to minute. It's always something new.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Definitely a lot of chuckles with things that they say, and it's off the wall.
Yeah, it can be really random,
Very random. Sometimes very funny or very very sweet, like genuine. But you didn't expect them to say it, so.
Yeah. What would you say is, like, if you're thinking of a highlight reel of your 4 years here, what would be some of your highlights for you?
I think the kids for sure, and just the different personalities that have come in my room, and also just the teamwork with the staff. That was something I was very grateful for, is having a close staff and teamwork, because in student teaching you didn't always see that with the bigger size schools.
For sure.
You had it with like your cohorts, but with the whole school, it was nice, the teamwork here.
Good. You like the half days? Well, as far as the title comes in the afternoon, preschool in the morning.
There's pros and cons. I do miss a full-time class. I'm excited for that. Just go back to that and see how that is. It is a little nice sometimes, flexibility in the afternoon. And sometimes on the very rough days, a little bit of a break from 5-year-olds is nice. But so there are pros and cons. I didn't mind it. I did enjoy my schedule, but it'll be fun to get back to that full day with the same kids.
Yeah, for sure. How about title? Can you maybe just elaborate on title? I think for some of the constituents, and they might not truly have a grasp of what title truly is.
Yes, so title is K through 6, and I help students that just need that extra support in the classroom. We do things at their level in my classroom. I have a program that I use, iReady, that tiers to their level and what they need, and then I give them lessons where they're at, not necessarily maybe what they're doing in the classroom, but where they're at and things that they need to help them succeed.
Is it more geared towards reading and
writing?
And
math?
Yeah, okay.
Reading and math is what I give.
Yep.
Gotcha.
It's a very growth-minded kind of program, the idea of seeing where your trouble spots are and targeting that for growth. Yeah. You've done great with that.
Thank you.
Yeah. How about any advice for the somebody taking over? Do you have any advice?
Have fun with preschool. Have a lot of fun. Lots of crafts. The themes. Anything you do. I mean, they just soak it up. So anything you can teach them, they will absorb it. And then for title, I would say just to be really on targeting what kids need and gearing towards them.
Right.
Really finding what they need. What would be the word for it? Like the sweet spot.
Like
the one that they need, then you can grow off of that. Because sometimes there's skills that they need that
like
goes into a bunch of different
one
things.
Little skill that's holding them back from so many others.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that would be find that one skill and really hone in on that one.
Yeah.
No, awesome. No, well, we'll miss you. I'll miss you.
For sure.
Yes.
Seeing every morning that nice smile and
Thank
energetic, ready to go. Let's meet the day.
It's bittersweet. I'm excited for what's to come, but it is sad to leave here because this has been the last 4 years. This has been home.
Yeah.
it's
Without question.
sad, but
For sure.
And then especially when you've had at least based off my experience, when you had a chance to grow or you feel like you've grown as a person as well, that it's just kind of you feel like you're leaving as a better person, and the place has something to do with that. And that can be, that's pretty cool, to be honest with you.
Agreed.
So we appreciate everything you've done. Great to have you on. Anything else you want to tell everybody? Anything else you can tell them?
No, just have a good summer and good luck next year.
Well, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, if you happen to see Briana around town before she heads off to Panther Country, make sure to wish her well and say hi. We've appreciated you. Thanks for being on the Bomber Buzz. We've got more coming up next. SandPro is a leading sand filtration specialist who uses cutting-edge wellhead technologies and automatic solutions to keep at the forefront of innovation in the oil field automation sector. SandPro prioritizes the rural values of safety, integrity, quality, commitment, and teamwork. Learn more about how SandPro supports local communities and the environment by visiting sandpro.com. SandPro is a proud sponsor of the Bomber Nation. We're back on the Bomber Buzz, and here with us right now is Mrs. Johnna Varty. Welcome to the Bomber Buzz, Mrs. Varty.
Thank you.
We're happy to have you.
We are excited to have you. We got a handful of things we'd just like to, how long have you been here?
9 years.
9 years.
Well,
but before that,
I was going to say I've been a teacher for 9 years, but prior to that, I went from kindergarten and graduated here.
Yeah, so you've spent your entire academic.
Yes.
9 professional years.
Yeah.
And 9 professional years.
Yeah.
Out of college, did you come right back to Berthold?
Well, we lived in Minot for a while.
Okay.
I got my degree in ag economics, actually, at NDSU. So I took a roundabout route to get back here, but always lived in the area. And then Vegas and I moved back to the farm. And I thank Brooke Storrow for ending up here again because we shared lockers in kindergarten and,
Oh, no. Serious?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. And so I can thank her for being a teacher here because at a wedding reception, she said, "Hey, we need an ag teacher. You should be it." And I said, "Not possible. I have a degree in ag economics. That's not ag ed." And, just go back and get it. Like, no big deal.
No big deal.
And I don't know. I did. So,
So that was roughly 10 years ago.
yeah.
Really?
Isn't that funny how that works?
That is quite a circle.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that was the route. Who was the ag instructor that you took over from?
It would have been Molly Aspel at the time.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And then Kelly was here, but was only here part-time.
Okay.
Was
So
that
they
at the
didn't
same
have-
time?
Yep. So Kelly worked part-time.
Okay.
And then they hired me full-time. So we had like 1.5 instructors for
Yep.
the first
Couple years.
that I was here. Yep. And then Kelly stayed home after she had Kaysen, and then I was solo.
Okay.
I cried when she left. Don't leave me. But it worked out okay.
So the education field wasn't really on the radar for a while.
No, I was working for an insurance company. I was, numbers kind of person, and yeah.
That is.
So.
I did not know that. We're talking. How about is there anything else that we don't know about?
I don't know.
Johnna Varty?
I don't
Is there a
know.
hidden talent in there somewhere that?
Probably not.
No.
I don't know. That's probably the biggest surprise.
Talk a little bit about just the program in general, the FFA program overall. I know it's a well-storied. I went to the banquet, and it's just a very proud group of people, very proud group of alums. At least that struck me right away. Like, oh wow, very. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, it started in 1964. I would say our most well-known teacher, Mr. Richard Deberton.
Yeah.
He was my teacher. He was awesome. I don't know that you'd find a better ag teacher in North Dakota, and we had him for decades, which was just fantastic. Yeah. He retired at the end of my junior year.
Okay.
And then I had Carrie Hovey, who actually went back to teaching in Powers Lake for a while, and then her and I became, peers rather than my teacher. So that was kind of cool. Yeah. But she was awesome. She was here for a few years, and then there's some others in between there. But yeah, it goes back to 1964, and I think it's always been, a big part of the community, not just the school.
Yeah. Sure.
Because they do stuff in the community. We try to do community service things. We've done the blessing box on Main Street. We clean up the ditches some years. Mr. Deberton is, mainly responsible for the arboretum behind the school.
Right.
That's his
initiative.
Yeah.
I heard that story last year. I thought it was really. I'm like,
That's
actually
him.
stopped out at United Ag and got the story.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, interesting. All right.
Yeah. And I have his it's somewhere in the classroom. I was hoping I'd come across it when I was cleaning stuff out, but he has like his hand-drawn map of when when it was planted, and like I had it hanging in the old ag room, which is the music room now, but in the move, I'm like, I don't know what I did with that, but it's in there somewhere, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I bet that is. That is a good piece of history.
Going out there as a student and tree ID and grafting and like, it was a big deal then, you know, and we don't utilize it as much now. And I've always thought, oh, this year, you know, maybe we'll do something, and then we never do, but
right.
But yeah, it's pretty cool.
How about just like where, you know, in the 9 years, give us a little rundown on big time positives, really proud of this.
I think
just reminisce a little bit.
I guess one of my favorite things is the Parley Pro team.
Yeah.
It's the officer team, and they just, that kind of, I don't know, kind of like sets off the officer team. Like how do they do in Parley Pro together? Because it's really, they've got to work together for that. They depend on each other. If one of them, you know, isn't into it, well, then the rest of them aren't going to be successful either. And it's like when you have a team that really clicks together, it's just so fun. And I don't know, it's kind of a nerdy competition, but it's awesome. And that's really opened up a lot of doors for us. We got invited probably like 3 or 4 years ago now to go do a demonstration team for the Minot Lions Club in Minot.
Right.
And because they are supposed to use Parley Pro, and they don't know how. And so they said, hey, would your, that was like, I think after we had won districts that year, and they're like, would you come do a demonstration for us? So we did, and they loved it. Well, then this last year, we got asked to be the parliamentarians for the state convention for Lions, for North Dakota Lions. So that was a big deal. And that was just, I mean, they loved the kids. They were joking around, and the kids were like saying, actually, you know, this is how you do that, and that's how you do that. Like they were interrupting, and like the people just loved it, and they ended up getting this big donation for national convention, which we weren't expecting. You know, we were just doing it to help out. And so it was kind of amazing how Parley Pro opened this door, and now we have this relationship with the Minot Lions and the North Dakota Lions, really. So
that's awesome.
It's a cool partnership that became of that. So
that's
probably one of my most favorite, like how that led us to this point.
Yeah.
Well, it really speaks to, you don't know what doors are going to open.
No.
Those guys put it all out there, did their best, and then here's this thing that just happened.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is a good, and parliamentary procedure just does kind of set the mood. If you got some energy, it flows into everything else. If you don't have any energy, somebody better pick you up is right. I think there's a lot of truth to what you said. How about anything else?
I mean, our winter judging teams, our egg sales and our agronomy, those kids get so competitive. I mean, not just with each other, but like with themselves, you know, like, well, this was my personal best this week, but I know I can beat it next week. You know, they, especially like the agronomy team, they are so dedicated. It's a winter contest. They started talking about practicing already. I'm like, okay, but let's get through state convention first, and then you guys can worry about that later. Yeah. But it's just awesome to see these kids be so driven and want to do this because they enjoy it, but it can also lead them to a career. For sure. So that's the cool thing. It's fun. They like to do it. It gets them involved in school, but it also, they could be an agronomist. You know,
you're
they
learning these things that you need for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And agronomy is a pretty big business in the Berthold area.
Just a little bit.
I mean, it's...
So what's coming up for FFA now?
Well, we're getting ready for state convention, so that's what I was just doing before this. So we've got a bunch of contests going on for state convention. That's June 3rd through the 6th. We've got 9 kids going this year. We've got 1 in the meets evaluation. We've got some going into the wildlife management contest.
Sure.
What else is there? Floriculture. ag mechanics, so they're back there practicing welding. And then a farm business management group too. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Where's that at?
It's in Fargo.
In Fargo.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So they go out to Fargo. You're out there for a few days.
Yep, 4 days.
Whew, that's a long time.
It's a long time. We stay in the dorms. We hope that we get a air-conditioned dorm, but, you know, you're not always guaranteed that. So
I guess at least it's June and not July or August.
Yeah. It never fails every year. It's like beautiful, beautiful state convention, 90 degrees, like every year. So we're going to hope.
AC in a dorm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're talking about it because there was 3 of them in my office this morning at about 8 talking about pushing or pulling that and the MIG welder. Yeah. And they're talking about different things. And,
yep.
Yeah, cluing me in, giving me a little background on everything. So I always get a charge out of that when they take good interest in something and then share things with me or share whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And I think it's good stuff. How about advice? What advice you got for like the rest of the crew moving forward? And you can think, I mean, you've ran the gamut, kindergarten through 12, right? You know, and chose you're going to do this, and now you're back. What advice would you say? You know what? Looking back at my education, looking back at my career, guys, gals, this is what you really got to concentrate on.
You know, I think like talking about like the kids, thinking about joining FFA, but you know, I don't really want to do some of these contests. Just try them, you know. And I always tell kids, hey, just come to a practice. Or just even go to one meet. You don't even have to enter. You can just come and watch and see what it's about. Because some kids, you know, you tell them, but until they take that step and do it, they're like, oh, I really liked this. Why didn't I do this earlier? So just try it. Even if you are curious about it, but are like, I don't think I'd be good at it, just try it. Yeah. You're not committed. You know, it's not like...
No doubt.
You're signing your life away. Just
Well, you never really know what it is until you're there.
Yep.
And usually our perceptions of it are wrong.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, stuck somewhere.
Yeah.
Stuck somewhere in a belief and can't quite get over it. How about just advice in choosing classes and going through the day-to-days? You got any advice for just general students? Or, I mean, all of our guys or gals are general students.
Yeah.
That was probably worded the wrong way, but
yeah. I don't know. You know, I think of like an Aubrey Lemire. You know, she's going to be like a heart surgeon, right?
Right.
She took an ag class every year.
Yeah.
You know, it's for anybody. It's for anybody. You know, take the classes you enjoy.
Well, you can relate a lot of things to a lot of different. I mean, however you choose to. I mean, it's not like. Just because it's Ag 3 or Ag 2 or Ag 1, and I'm a football guy, it doesn't mean that I can't get something out of that.
Yep, exactly.
There's no question about it.
Sure.
I firmly agree with that statement that just about anything, and then you can take it as far as you want, right? Or you can gripe about it as much as you want too.
Yeah.
You got 2 choices there.
Yeah.
And you know, usually the first choice there is the best one.
Yeah.
Any other things? Any other advice or anything you want to share with us?
No, just, you know, the kids enjoy their high school time and make the most of it. Do as much as you can and get involved. And you'll miss these years.
You will.
You don't think you will, but you will.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yep, and they do go fast.
Well, thank you a bunch. You got anything else?
No, well, thank you, Mrs. Varty, for joining us on the Bomber Buzz. Stay tuned. We've got John Koronka coming up. We're going to talk about baseball heading into the region tournament. Sidelines Bar and Grill, located in downtown Berthold, is your go-to for a tasty meal and a cold drink. Come on down for lunch or after a hard day of work. From burgers and wraps to chicken strips, mozzarella sticks, and more, Sidelines will fill you up and satisfy your cravings. Enjoy great friends and conversation over a refreshing beverage or two. When you're looking for somewhere to relax, Sidelines Bar and Grill has you covered. Sidelines Bar and Grill is a proud sponsor of the Bomber Nation. We are back on the Bomber Buzz. We are here to talk baseball. And with us right now is Mr. John Koronka, the baseball coach. Welcome back to the Bomber Buzz, John. Good to have you with us again.
Yeah, thanks for having me as always.
Yeah, so we got a region tournament coming up here. You want to tell us a little bit about, let's start with, tell us a little bit about our season here, like how we got into this tournament.
Yeah, so it's been a pretty good year overall. So the way the tournament works is that if you're the top three seeds, you don't have to play in a playing game to make it to the tournament. You just get into the tournament automatically. And then the 5 through 7 playing games. Well, this year, we were fortunate enough, we played well enough that we earned the 3 seed. So we got to skip right over the playing games that happened yesterday, which is a huge accomplishment. I told the guys, too, it's like, that is so difficult to do.
Yeah.
And we just did so many things well this year. We played really good baseball at the right times. And they worked hard, and it's really showed how that hard work and just paying attention to all those little details we talked about and everything we worked on, it just showed. And we were able to win some games, so we got ourselves in a really good spot for this weekend. Yeah,
those guys really did a great job this year of giving all that they had, you know.
Yep, they really bought into the expectations I had of them, and I displayed those expectations right away. I'm like, this is how it's going to be done, and they really all bought into it, and it really showed just how successful we were this year.
Yeah, that's great.
It was. We earned the 3 seed, and I think that's the thing that you want to make sure that you remember, that we earned that spot. It wasn't and we didn't have to play last night. That was a big step in the right direction for our program. So we move into the region tournament on Saturday. We play Delax Burlington. They're the 2 seed. We play them roughly noon. First game's at 10, so could be 12:30, somewhere around that roughly. Noon hour, 12:30 on Saturday. What can the fans expect?
You know, playing DLB is they're always very good. And it's always kind of weird for me too, because ever since I started coaching in high school, my sophomore year of high school, I've been coaching this group of kids who play at DLB all the way up until about 3 years ago, right? So I know quite a bit about them, and they're just really, really good baseball players, right? And the thing I'm kind of telling our guys is like, look, we got to go out there with no pressure on ourselves at all. I know we're playing a good team, but in reality, it's just another high school team, right? And if we go out and just play our game, have fun, pay attention to little details, a big thing I've been focusing on this week is just keeping our energy and spirits high, right? Because it's really easy sometimes, especially if you get down early right away or some things start going bad. As long as we keep that energy high, good things are going to happen. And then when energy's high, confidence is high. When confidence is high, we make plays, we put the ball in play, and good things happen.
Yeah.
So hopefully we just come out ready to play. And hopefully we get a good game in there and some things go our way and we don't make many mistakes, and that's going to be the key to success. So it should be a pretty good game, hopefully, Saturday morning.
Right. Should be. And the first game at the Region 7 tournament is Tioga. They're the 4 seed versus Kenmare Bowbells is the 5 seed. That first pitch is about 10 a.m. The winner of that game then will play Renville County, who is the 1 seed, 30 minutes after our game on that Saturday. And then the 4th game would be the loser of the Delax Burlington Berthold game versus the loser of the Tioga Kenmare Bowbells game would be the final game on Saturday. So if we win, we play Monday morning at 11 a.m. versus the Renville County versus Tioga or Kenmare winner. And if we are not successful in the first game, we'd play the loser of the Tioga Kenmare game and then play again Monday morning. What else can you tell us about the rest of the teams in the region?
Yeah, right. I mean, there's lots of good things that come from all of the teams in this region, right? And even though I know some of our scores, we scored some runs on some of these teams this year, right?
Yeah.
And I hope we can keep it in the boys' heads. It's like these teams are still good teams, right? Even though the fact that we just played super well against them before doesn't mean that these teams are going to come and roll over again when we play them again, some of these other squads, right? So just treating every team like it's a World Series winning team and we want to go out there and play our best ball is kind of the biggest thing we're focusing on. And yesterday we had a talk before practice, and I'm kind of big on setting short-term goals with the guys. So yesterday we talked about, okay, we've already achieved the goal of getting that 3 seed, missing the play-in game, right? Getting at least a 3 seed. We've already achieved that goal. So let's think about what our next goal is going to be. Okay. And I think it's really important that we don't look too far ahead in the future, right? Everybody obviously wants to be a region champion or wants
win
to do
the
that, right?
tournament.
Obviously we want
to
we want to do that, right? That would be awesome. But the first thing is, in order to do that, what do we have to do? We looked at that, and we made a primary goal of, okay, we have to make it to Monday, first of all.
Right.
What does that mean? Winning a game on Saturday, whether that be the first game, whether that be the second game if we have to play it, right? Winning a game on Saturday. So the whole week now, we're kind of thinking about, okay, what can we do in practice? What can we do in our free time to be successful in that goal?
Right.
Right. So that's just kind of, if we keep that mentality, I'm just trying to drill that mentality in our guys' heads, right? Like, what can I do every single day to just be able to reach that goal one way or another? Make it to Monday, and then we look forward ahead from there.
Yeah. That's great.
Yep, it is. Small goals, next step in the program.
Right.
That's exactly right. What's up as this thing gets built? Pitching, you going to give us a quick philosophy on just what, double elimination tournament now, high school baseball, man, even in major college baseball, the pitching matchups start to matter now. And you got a philosophy on how you want to roll with game 1, game 2, game 3?
I can't give too many secrets out, Mr. Rudolph. I got some tricks up my sleeve, right? But it is really important, just especially with all the pitch count rules today in baseball, which are awesome for baseball because not only it saves arms when they're followed, but also it makes you have to develop other pitchers and all those guys, right? So I've been just working all year and developing a lot of guys who could go in there. And the biggest thing for our pitchers, I don't care if you strike out a lot of people. I don't care if you do this, right? But you just have to throw strikes. Okay, when you throw strikes and you make teams work, that's when you're going to find success. Now, coming after that, right? Defensively, we just got to make plays for our pitcher too, right? So I don't want to give any super key details out or anything like that, but I got some things up my sleeve. We got a lot of pitchers who do a lot of different things well. We got some guys who I can put up there and they throw a little harder if we need that. I got some guys up there who can just throw some weird off-speed pitches, because that's a thing too. And just hopefully just working again this week is just pound home that mentality of, okay, attack the zone, attack the strike zone, and we just need to make some plays behind them.
Yep.
So.
Yep. No, and then just a few house cleaning items as far as the Region 7 tournament for the fans. It's up in Lansford. They are charging admission for the region games now. It's, I believe, $8 adults. I think $5 for students.
Yep.
Concessions on site. Parking's limited when you get to Lansford. You might have to park over in the school lot. Just a few things for everybody to remember. But it should be good baseball, and hopefully we get a bunch of people up there and the guys get excited and we play well and compete hard. And I don't know if we can ask for anything more.
Right. Biggest thing is just go out there and just like we've done all year, just go out there and have a ton of fun. Right. Last couple of baseball games of the year. For some of them, it's going to be the last sporting events that they ever compete in.
That's right.
Right. And I kind of make that a big thing too. It's like you might not ever play competitive sports again after this year. Right. Just go out and don't regret anything after you're done with it. Right. You don't want to be able to look back and be like, I wish I could have done a little more that time or done something like that. Right.
Yeah.
So just going out though and having fun, being a good teammate, stress being a good teammate. Pick your guys up, just being excited because when people feed off energy, when they're out there playing, they feed off energy, right? Yeah. So just sticking to that philosophy and going out and no fear whatsoever. Go out and have a ton of fun. I think it's going to be really exciting. I think it's going to be really exciting for us. It's been such a big step up. The guys are super excited considering they didn't get to play in a region tournament last year.
Right.
We didn't get to play in a region tournament last year. Some of the younger guys going to be a new experience. Some of the older guys have been in similar situations like that, but nothing really beats playing some competitive baseball. Hey, like we need to win this game or we're done.
That's right.
How are we gonna compete when our backs are against the wall? So I'm looking forward to a really fun tournament. I have heard rumors that the concessions in Lansford are pretty good. So make sure you bring some, if you're coming to watch, make sure you bring some extra money.
Some
You never know, right? And that is not a sponsorship deal with Lansford either. I'm just saying this on my own, okay? They're not paying me to
we
say
can
that.
cut that in post.
Right.
No, that's great. And then, just it's always unique, right? Spring sports are always unique in the fact that, here we're going to be playing baseball 1 or 2 games on Saturday, and then 4 of those guys are going to turn around and graduate on Sunday,
right? Yep.
And then turn around and play baseball again for us on Monday.
Yep.
So it's a pretty busy weekend.
Pretty busy weekend.
From an academic sense and from a competitive sense, there's a lot to throw into those handful of short days there. Yep. So, bear with everybody and enjoy the ride without question. Anything else, John?
Nope. Just hopefully hopefully you guys come out and support us. It's gonna be a lot of fun. These guys have worked really hard all year, and hopefully you can come and see see just how that turned out. Okay, they're super excited. They've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun this year, even though there's times I do want to pull my hair out of my head sometimes. Obviously, life of a coach, right?
That's coaching, yeah.
That life of a coach, but just come out and see what the boys have been doing. They definitely deserve it. So
yeah, agreed.
Right on. Well, make sure again up in Lansford, come out and support the Bombers, especially our seniors. Come and watch them play. Get some of that good concessions food. Just be a real great weekend for you up there. John, thanks for joining us on the Bomber Buzz. We're looking forward to this tournament and seeing what our Bombers can do.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for having me.
We'll be back here in just a minute. United Agronomy's mission is to improve the lives of their patrons and their families by offering data-driven solutions that fit each individual acre. From its start with a Berthold office location in the year 2000, United Agronomy has grown quickly to 4 locations in Berthold, Ross, Parshall, and Williston, and continues to expand their partnerships and offerings. From soil testings and crop scouting to custom spray application and fertilizer delivery and more, United Agronomy offers you the farming solutions you need to get the most out of every acre while exemplifying our small town values. Make sure to visit their website or give them a call to find out how they can help you. United Agronomy is a proud sponsor of the Bomber Nation. You've been listening to the Bomber Buzz. Paul, that's our last episode, I guess. Unless we do a bonus one here or there. What's summer got coming up for you?
Well, you always just enjoy the summer, right? You get a little heat and a little free time. But I still enjoy, hanging out with the kids, and we'll be Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the morning and get a little physical activity in, and then I like to get out on the boat and get a little fishing in every now and then.
Yeah, there you go. Be out in the water. I'll be at Minot State this summer doing summer theater. I'm tech director, building sets. And then if you feel like watching me on stage, I'll be in the 39 Steps. It's a 4-person show. I play 8 different characters.
I thought you said 8. I was like, yeah, right.
Yeah. So it's pretty fast, and it should be funny. It's supposed to be funny.
Oh, I bet it will be.
So, well, we appreciate all of you listening to the Bomber Buzz. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. We've got a lot of episodes coming next year. We'll be starting up again here in August, so watch for that. Next year we got a lot of fun things planned. You're going to get to meet all of our teachers and staff and hear from all of our seniors and students and all sorts of great stuff. So thank you all for a wonderful year. Thank you for supporting the Bomber Nation. Fly high, Bombers.